So you can go ahead and take the ears that you've already knit, and we're going to attach them to the head. And if you want, you can look at different placement by using a round-headed pin or two round-headed pins, just so you can get an idea of where you want to place the ears on the head. But you don't have to. It's just if you want, that can help you decide where you want to put them. But it looks kind of strange before you put on the mane anyway. So my advice is just go for it. And it will turn out great. So I'm going to take the pins off. And I still have the bind off string attached to the top of the ear, see? And then this is the cast on string. First I'm going to attach the ear with this the cast on tail. And then I'm going to take that bind off string. I'll use the tapestry needle to weave it down through the ear, and then you can either reinforce the ear and stitch it again with that string, or you can just bring it into the body and sort of have that string disappear. That's up to you, depending on, I guess, how tightly secured you want the ear to be to the head. So I just go ahead and thread the yarn from the cast on edge into the tapestry needle and place it on the head where I think it should go. And I start by making one knot through one knit stitch in the head, and then I start to sew the ear onto the head from there. And I'll try to show you. And this goes really fast, especially after all the other stuff we've already stitched up. This is so easy. And once you've pretty much got it stitched on, you can take a look at it and see if you like the way it looks and if you like the placement. And if you don't like it, of course, you can just take it off and reapply it, but I think that's good, so I'm just going to re-thread the tapestry needle so it fell off. And make a little knot, maybe even a double knot. And then take this yarn tail that I just used and I'll bring it into the head and back out, like in the neck or somewhere, wherever you can manage to work the needle out through all that wool. See there, it just came out. And I just pull that yarn right through. I give a little tug, and I snip it, and that just disappears into the body, into the neck of the horse. And then I want to do something with this thread. And again, don't just snip it because it could come unknotted. Instead, I thread the needle. And I just use the tapestry needle to sort of weave this yarn down through the ear. And I'll just try to do it really quickly. See, just like that, it just comes down. And then again, you can either use this thread to stitch the ear even more firmly onto the head, or you can just bring it through and snip it. And then you do the same with the second ear on the other side. So once you have put both ears on, I'll let you see that. And I do recommend using that top tail to reinforce the stitching. Like if you stitch on the front of the ear first, you can use the second thread to stitch the back of the ear, and that will really help the ears stand up. Because sometimes if you just stitch one side, they'll want to like flop down, and they look a little better if they stand up. It's cute. If you're making a unicorn, this is the point where you would attach the horn, like right behind the ears, or a little behind the ears, or a little in front of the ears, wherever you want. But this is the point where you would attach it before you attach the mane. But this is going to be a horse, so he won't have a horn. So I'm going to attach the mane. First I cut the yarn that I'm going to use, and I want to have about 8-inch pieces. And a fast way to cut the yarn is just to wrap it around your palm and your thumb, because this, at least for me, is about 4 inches from here to here, so around is 8. So I just wrap the yarn around my hand, and then cut it just on one side. And I'm using pink for this one because I think it will show up better and it will be kind of fun. So now that I have the yarn for the mane, you fold the yarn over like that, and you take your crochet hook and you start applying the yarn to the top of the neck by putting the crochet hook through 1 or 2 stitches like that, and then you use the hook to grab the loop from the middle of the yarn and you pull it through like that, and then either use the hook or your fingers to pull the tail from the yarn through this loop like that, and pull it tight, and that's 2 mane hairs. So this takes a little while, but it's really a fun part of the process, and you can get creative and decide how much of a mane you want to have and how much yarn you want to use and how, I guess, funky you want the mane to be. But I just do the same thing again. I make that loop with the crochet hook, and once you get speedy you can just use the hook to grab the yarn, but for this video you just use your fingers to pull the ends through that loop and that's more of the mane attached. And you go ahead and you do that all along until you get to about here, I would say, like right before you get to the back. But again, that's up to you. Whatever you think looks right.